Welcome to the deep dive. Ever wondered what truly sets the financially successful apart? I mean, it's not just about luck, right? Or some complicated stock market secret, or even being born into privilege necessarily. What if the real breakthroughs lie in powerful, often sort of hidden shifts in mindset?
Well, that's precisely what we're unraveling today. We've really dug into a stack of compelling sources, and we've distilled their wisdom down into 10 core mindsets that consistently seem to underpin genuine wealth.
Okay.
So our mission with this deep dive really is to give you a shortcut, a concentrated dose of the most surprising insights and, well, practical philosophies that define financial success.
Right, like a custom tailored guide.
Exactly. Designed to help you connect the dots and become truly well-informed on a topic that touches pretty much every aspect of our lives.
Absolutely. So, what's on the table for our deep dive today? What are we exploring?
We're going to explore some fundamental recalibrations of thinking. Everything from how wealth builders perceive money itself to their unique approaches to work, time, even their own self-worth.
And these aren't just like abstract theories.
No, not at all. These are powerful formulas. They're battle-tested, you could say, through countless success stories. Our aim is really to deliver those aha moments, the kind that don't just inform, but genuinely transform your financial perspective.
Okay, sounds great. Let's get into it.
All right. The first, and arguably the most foundational mindset is this. Successful individuals view money as a consequence of value. It's not the ultimate goal itself.
A consequence of value.
Yeah, and this isn't just some feel-good phrase. This is a profound strategic reorientation. See, many people mistakenly chase money directly. They choose careers or make decisions solely based on the potential paycheck.
That's such a common trap, isn't it?
It really is.
And our sources, they illuminate this with a fantastic point. Financially successful individuals don't just create value, they create leverageable value.
Right. Exactly. Leverageable. It's not just about solving a problem. It's solving a problem in a way that, once you've addressed it, can be replicated or automated or scaled up, sometimes to an almost infinite degree.
Okay.
So imagine the world as this vast market of problems and needs. The financially successful, they don't ask, how can I get $1 billion? Instead, their question is more like, what significant problem can I solve for a large number of people? What valuable, useful, and scalable solution can I create that genuinely improves lives?
So it's about shifting from a get mindset to a give value mindset. Makes sense.
Okay.
But what happens if you're pouring all that value into your work, yet you find yourself constantly overwhelmed, maybe undercompensated?
Right.
That kind of leads us directly into our second crucial insight, doesn't it? Because simply creating value isn't enough if you're not also working.
Well, smart.
Not just hard.
Exactly. So many people still cling to that belief that sheer effort guarantees success.
Yeah, the grind culture idea.
Precisely. And that's where the disconnect often happens. Our sources really point out that while hard work is, of course, essential, it's insufficient on its own. I mean, some people work tirelessly their entire lives and barely make ends meet, while others seem to work less, maybe, and yet money flows steadily to them. The distinction lies in efficiency and leverage.
It's not about being lazy then, but about being strategic, really thinking it through.
Absolutely. Successful people don't just put in more hours, they make sure their hours are spent on the right things, the high-impact things. They don't simply trade time for money, hour for dollar. They use their time to build systems, deploy tools, and strategically leverage other people's efforts so that their time generates exponentially more.
It's like an ongoing internal audit, almost, asking yourself, is this task truly worth my time and my unique contribution?
That's a great way to put it. And if the answer is no, they find a way for a system or another person to handle it.
Delegation or automation.
Right. This is the 80-20 principle in action. They identified that 20% of efforts that yield 80% of the results.
Yeah.
They're masters of optimization, focusing relentlessly on what truly drives outcomes. And they aren't afraid to politely decline commitments that don't align with their strategic priorities. They protect their focus.
So they design their work, build repeatable processes,
And continuously ask, is there a better, more efficient way to achieve this outcome?
which flows seamlessly into our third mindset then. Successful people build income flows. They don't just exchange time for money.
Yes. The common narrative is work hard, get money, right? As if money is a direct reward for effort.
Yeah, like a vending machine. Put a ferret in, get money out.
But as our sources highlight, money is actually the consequence of the flow of value. It's not about how hard you exert yourself physically or mentally necessarily. It's about how large a flow of value you create, how consistently you maintain it, and critically, how you optimize that flow.
That's a powerful distinction. Money doesn't simply chase sweat.
Exactly. If it did, manual laborers would consistently be the wealthiest people on the planet.
Mm.
Instead, the wealthy design continuous income streams, streams that are not dependent on their hourly presence.
Oh, okay. They build systems where money effectively generates more money?
Precisely.
Yeah.
Think of an evergreen online course someone develops once, but it earns revenue for years. Or a piece of software they build that users subscribe to monthly, that kind of thing. This is how successful people make money flow to them, often while they sleep.
It's that classic distinction, isn't it? Are you carrying individual buckets of water back and forth from the well? Or are you investing the effort up front to build a sustainable pipeline, one that delivers without your constant manual input?
That's the perfect analogy. And our sources reinforce that for true wealth builders, even those initial bucket-carrying efforts, they're always done with the pipeline in mind. They ensure every immediate task serves a long-term automated flow.
So the crucial question they ask is, can what I do today continue to generate income for me a month from now, a year, even 10 years from now?
Yes, if your work is fragmented, purely linear, and it cannot be scaled or continue without your direct involvement, then you're not really building financial wealth in the sustainable sense. You're just trading time for survival.
Which naturally leads us to the fourth mindset. Successful people diversify their income streams.
Yeah, this is key. It's almost counterintuitive for many people who rely heavily on a single primary income source. Full-time job, maybe a single small business. And if that one source falters, their entire financial world can crumble. It creates constant anxiety.
It makes sense, though, doesn't it? The financially successful understand that putting all your eggs in one basket is, well, a recipe for sleepless nights.
Absolutely. They actively construct multiple income streams simultaneously. Some might be active, some passive, maybe with varying risk profiles. But it's all carefully calculated and often interlinked.
So their main job might be the initial cash engine.
Right, but they meticulously use that income to build future income, investing in things like digital assets, real estate, stocks, or creating repeatable products.
What's truly fascinating here, based on the sources, is how they seem to transform almost every opportunity, every skill, every relationship into a potential channel for value and income.
They're constantly asking, can this be spun off into a new income stream? Can it be automated? Can it be replicated for others? They're never complacent with just one source, no matter how substantial it seems, because they view that singularity as a vulnerability if there aren't robust backup channels.
So financial success for them isn't just about piling up wealth.
No, it's also about financial defense, resilience, preparing for a range of different scenarios, good and bad.
And crucially, they don't just work to earn money, they work to free up their most precious asset, time. This brings us neatly to our fifth mindset. Successful people leverage money to buy back time.
That sounds paradoxical to some, doesn't it? Spending money to gain time. But it's absolutely crucial to their strategy.
Right, because most people sell their time hour by hour. Successful individuals seem to do the opposite.
They grasp that when your income is directly tied to your personal hours, your earning potential is inherently limited. There are only so many hours in a day. So instead of grinding away 10 hours a day, 7 days a week, they intelligently invest. They invest in ways to hire others, acquire tools that help, or construct self-sustaining systems.
So they can achieve more output with the same amount of their personal time.
Exactly. It allows them to achieve the equivalent of, say, a 700 or even 7,000 hours of effective output for the same input of their own time. It's all about multiplying productivity through leverage, not just sheer brute force.
They seem relentless in identifying and offloading tasks that no longer require their direct, unique involvement.
Absolutely. If someone else can do it more affordably, or maybe even better, they outsource. If software can automate it, they invest in the software. If a process can be built to run a task instead of handling it manually, that immediately becomes a priority.
It keeps them focused on the high-level strategic stuff, preventing them from getting trapped in the day-to-day operational grind.
Precisely. They simply refuse to be bogged down by a task that costs, say, $10 an hour if their mind could be generating a $1,000 opportunity in that same time frame. Every minute spent on a non-essential task is viewed as a lost opportunity for something bigger.
Which naturally brings us to the sixth mindset, the often underestimated power of delegation and trust.
Yes. Most people have this tendency to hoard tasks, right? believing they need to do everything themselves, maybe to guarantee quality or just to save a few dollars.
Yeah, if you want something done right.
Do it yourself, exactly.
Yeah.
But financially successful individuals operate from a completely different playbook. They understand that no single person is excellent at everything, nor do they need to be.
That's a huge mental hurdle for a lot of people, though. You mentioned quality control. How do these sources suggest successful people overcome that urge to micromanage and genuinely build that necessary trust?
It starts with recognizing and embracing their own core competencies. What are they really good at? They identify the few areas where they truly excel, and then they strategically hire or partner with or invest in others who possess expertise in the remaining areas.
So building a team, a network.
A robust system where everyone plays to their strengths. This dramatically boosts overall efficiency, and it frees them up to focus on the truly important strategic work. It's why the wealthy readily engage financial advisors, lawyers, accountants, marketing experts, you name it.
It's not that they couldn't attempt these tasks themselves.
Right, but their time and specialized expertise are far more valuable focusing elsewhere. They're essentially buying professionalism, experience, and speed from others.
So it's not just about offloading work, it's multiplying their own leadership capacity by empowering others.
Exactly. When you trust people, invest in their capabilities, and share responsibility, you become the center of a dynamic network. A network where value, and thus money, flows through many hands and minds, not just yours.
Makes sense.
Indeed. A truly wise person knows. If you're not inherently skilled at something, don't force it. If others can do it better, let them. If it's time-consuming but doesn't significantly add value, automate or delegate it. They don't micromanage every detail. They manage the right things. Goals, results, cash flow. Not every tiny operation.
Okay, moving on. Our seventh mindset tackles a big one. Owning intelligently.
Ah, yes. When most people think of ownership, they envision physically holding something, right? Like a fancy car or a big house.
Sure, tangible assets.
But successful people often have a profoundly different perspective. They don't feel the need to directly possess everything. They only need to own what generates power, cash flow, or influence.
So while the general public might prioritize accumulating tangible stuff,
financially successful individuals often invest heavily in intangible assets that generate long-term value. Things like shares in profitable companies, scalable systems they've built, powerful brands, proprietary data, patents, intellectual property, even brilliantly executed ideas.
Right. They'd rather own a stake in a company that provides car services than merely owning a luxury car itself.
Precisely. Because the former generates consistent cash flow over time, while the latter mostly depreciates and costs money. This mindset truly frees them from the burden of needing to physically possess everything just for the sake of it.
So they don't necessarily need to own a physical building to make money from real estate.
No, they could invest in the stock of a real estate investment trust, a REIT, that owns hundreds of properties.
Or they don't need to run every single store to profit.
They can own a franchise model instead. This intelligent ownership also helps them optimize risk by broadly distributing their investments.
And here's a fascinating twist mentioned in the sources. They're often willing to share ownership.
Yes, to attract top talent, motivate strategic partners, build fierce loyalty. They intuitively know that, say, 10% of a billion-dollar system is exponentially better than 100% of a small, stagnant, perhaps unsaleable business.
Okay, that leads nicely into the eighth mindset, which feels paramount. Money grows with knowledge, not necessarily with age.
Oh, this is huge. It flies right in the face of the common belief that simply accumulating years of experience or sticking with a job will automatically lead to higher income.
The seniority equals pay idea.
Right. But successful people understand that time itself doesn't generate value. Only applied knowledge does. Age merely accumulates experience. And if you don't continuously update and apply your learning, well, that experience can quickly become obsolete in our rapidly changing world.
It's not just about learning for learning's sake, then. It's practical application.
Exactly. They learn because knowledge is a tool. It's a lever for creating financial opportunity. They don't passively wait for someone to teach them. They proactively seek it out, voraciously reading, enrolling in courses, devouring relevant deep dives like this one, actively seeking mentors.
And crucially, they apply what they learn. They experiment.
Yes. They embrace mistakes as feedback, they correct course, and they learn again. It's a cycle. They understand that every new piece of information, every new skill, every new mindset, if correctly applied, can be transformed into significant financial advantage.
So while many might spend hours mindlessly scrolling social media,
Successful individuals intentionally reallocate that time. They use it to learn about advanced investing strategies, maybe understand intricate market dynamics, refine their business acumen, or develop critical soft skills like negotiation or leadership. They treat learning not as some optional extra, but as the most essential task for maintaining a financial edge.
There's a key difference highlighted. Ordinary people learn to know something.
Successful people learn to use something. If you're feeling stuck financially, it's really worth asking yourself, what new and applicable thing have I genuinely learned and tried in the past month?
Good question. Okay, our ninth mindset cuts right to the chase, and it might sound a bit paradoxical at first. Successful people work for freedom, not just money.
Yes, this isn't a subtle distinction. It's a profound recalibration of their entire approach to work. They don't just toil away to pay the bills or just get by. They work for something far bigger. Ultimate freedom.
Explain that. Most people do work for money, right? Out of
Mhm.
necessity.
Absolutely. Most people work for money. They need it to live, support their families, cover daily expenses. That's the reality for many. But this very dependence creates a kind of trap. When money is the sole driver for working, you're often forced to work, even when you don't want to, or on things you don't believe in.
You become chained by bills, maybe debt.
And the persistent fear of scarcity. You don't dare to quit a job you hate or pivot to something new or say no to undesirable opportunities because your survival literally depends on that paycheck.
Okay, so how do successful people approach it differently?
They work to gradually break free from this dependency. They understand that money isn't the final destination. It's a powerful means to achieve a broader freedom.
What kind of freedom are we talking about?
The freedom to choose what you want to do, when you want to do it, where you want to do it, and how you want to live. They set clear financial goals. Build enough income sources so they don't have to work just for basic survival.
So once they reach a certain financial level, they might not stop working entirely.
Often they don't. Instead, they shift. They might start working out of pure passion, or for creating profound value, or for personal growth, or making a significant contribution to the world, rather than just necessity.
So freedom isn't necessarily about idleness, it's about agency.
Exactly. Having the agency to choose what's genuinely worth doing, who's worth collaborating with, what ambitious goals are worth pursuing. It's mental freedom, time freedom, and robust financial freedom all rolled into one.
And they achieve this by prioritizing long-term goals.
Consistently. They prioritize sustainable cash flow and asset building, often making significant short-term sacrifices for that ultimate independence down the road. The powerful lesson they seem to grasp is stark. If you don't actively work for your own freedom, you're inadvertently helping someone else achieve theirs.
Wow, okay. And finally, the 10th mindset, which feels like it underpins all the others. Wealth is cultivated daily. It's not something you're just born with or stumble upon by accident.
Absolutely. Think about it. There are people who grow up in really challenging circumstances, surrounded by scarcity mindsets. Beliefs like money is hard to come by, or the rich are just lucky, or money doesn't grow on trees.
Yeah, those limiting beliefs get ingrained.
They hear it so often. They start to believe their lives are predetermined by circumstance. But successful individuals, often regardless of their starting background, make a conscious daily choice to reprogram their mindset about money.
They don't accept those old limiting adages, like money is the root of all evil.
No, they challenge them. They recognize money as a powerful tool. And like any tool, it amplifies the character of its user. If you are fundamentally a good, generous person, money helps you do more good on a larger scale. If, unfortunately, you are weak or destructive, money will likely only amplify that tendency.
So a true wealth mindset doesn't magically appear when you hit a certain bank balance.
Not at all. It begins with how you think about money, even when you only have a few dollars left in your pocket. Do you complain about scarcity, focus on what you lack, or do you proactively seek solutions and opportunities?
Do you passively wait for things to happen, or do you get up and actively build and rebuild?
Exactly. Successful people don't tend to avoid uncomfortable truths. They confront problems directly. They take radical responsibility. They don't make excuses. They don't blame others for their circumstances. And they certainly don't waste precious energy on envy. Their focus is always inward and forward, upgrading themselves and their capabilities.
It's a mindset of continuous evolution then, never assuming you know enough.
Always learning, always adapting. It's the mindset of strategic exchange. Trading your time for valuable skills early on, perhaps. Trading a small initial investment for significant knowledge. trading old, limiting habits for new successful ones. Every small thought you cultivate, every small decision you make is like laying a brick in your financial future.
So a poverty mindset can drag you down even if you get lucky temporarily.
Subtly but surely. While a wealth mindset will consistently lift you up, helping you find a way forward, even from rock bottom.
Wow, what a journey we've been on unpacking these 10 mindsets. As we've explored today, it seems true wealth isn't an accident of birth, nor is it purely a matter of luck or just relentless hard work alone.
No. Instead, it is really at its core a deliberate reprogramming of the mindset. It's a daily, intentional cultivation of these very specific ways of thinking about money, value, and personal growth.
Right. Adopting these principles, viewing money as a result of value, working smart, building diverse income flows.
Leveraging time, delegating effectively, owning strategically, prioritizing knowledge, working for true freedom, and constantly investing in yourself.
These principles fundamentally recalibrate and, well, elevate one's financial trajectory over time.
They really do. It's about changing the inner game.
And here's that powerful message from the source material that really serves as a great closing thought. You have the key, and opening the door is your part.
That puts the power back in your hands.
It does.
Yeah.
So as you, our listener, reflect on everything we've discussed today, maybe consider which of these mindsets resonated most deeply with you. What's one small, actionable step you could commit to taking, maybe even today, to begin cultivating your own wealth mindset?
It starts small. Just one step.
Exactly. Remember, wealth is ultimately a choice, and mindset is its undeniable foundation. Your journey of learning and transformation, well, after listening to this, it has just begun. Keep exploring, keep applying.